I'm here today with the ES1 Pro from Artisan, and this is a little electric motorcycle, but it has a twist because this is for the road and the off-road, as you can see by how muddy it is right here. I'm Vanessa, the girl on a bike, and I am going to be doing a technical review of everything that you need to know about this motorcycle. So let's get stuck in. Right, first of all, the motor. You've got a 72 volt, 31 and a bit amp hour battery. This is a Samsung lithium battery. You've got two batteries, in fact, in this bike. And that is something that actually makes the SE1 Pro a little bit unique. So the way kind of like to think of this, if you take horses pulling a cart, if you have one horse pulling the cart, you're going to get a bit of power and a bit of speed. But if you have two horses pulling the cart, you're going to get double the power, a little bit more performance. Okay, you're not going to go faster, but you're going to have that performance. And this bike has two batteries instead of one. And you can actually run the bike with one battery, but when you have two batteries in it, you can maximize the power pulling from the two and getting a little bit more performance. We need to remember that this is a 125 equivalent motorcycle, which is amazing if you're looking for, your first motorbike, a little bit of a run around. You don't need a full license. You can do your CBT or have your L31 license and ride this motorbike. So it's a really good access point for people wanting to try and get on two wheels, but also get a little bit muddy. Now, I want to clarify that with this bike, this isn't a top hard enduro adventure rally race enduro motocross spec off-road bike, and it's not trying to be. This is a dabble off-road. You have your commute, your little run around in town, and then you can go off-road. Artisan have been really clever with this because it comes with 17-inch wheels, but you can get the Offroad Pack, and this is where I'm quite excited by this bike actually. For £399, boom, you get a second set of wheels and some rubber tiles with a little bit knobbly, which is what I've got on here today. So I've been playing around in the mud and slipping about. Make sure you check out my day playing in the mud kind of video to see a little bit more of the riding action. But what you get with that Offroad Pack is the ability to change your wheels and have a little bit of a dabble off-road, do some of the green lanes and get some muddy experience that you maybe wouldn't get from your more typical little electric off-road motorbike offering. Electric bikes, everyone always worries about the range. You're looking at about 50 kilometers with one battery and 100 kilometers with two, so that's about 36 and 75. Going back to the two batteries that this has, typically it comes with two batteries because that's the best way to get the government grant in the UK, which knocks 20% off the price, like it. But you can actually run it with one battery. Now, the advantages of potentially running it with one battery is that you can then have the other battery on charge. So, for example, a commute, let's just say if you wanted to, you could have a battery at work on charge, swap it out and have a battery at home and do your commute, but I find having two batteries and a little bit more fun power is way more beneficial and practical. When it comes to charging, Artisan have made a little bit step ahead when it comes to the category, and they have a 15 amp charging plug adapter, which basically means that you can charge the two batteries on daisy chain in 3.5 hours, which is incredibly fast when you take the category. So that is a winner because recharge is always one of those things people worry about with electric. Top speed, that's another one. Remember, this is a 125 equivalent motorcycle, so we are not going for top speed. The magic with electric though is that you have that instant torque delivery, so it's a really, really nippy little bike. You're buzzing around town or slipping around in the mud, you've got the power to pull away. You just can't go really, really fast. So you're looking at about a 58 mile an hour top speed. I reckon if you were going down a hill and you were like slip lining, you might get to 60. So be careful of the speed cameras. Right, you've got three mapping switches on the bike, which is pretty standard on electric bikes. You've got the Eco, and that will restrict you to 28 miles an hour, which is perfect for around town, not worrying about buzzing past a speed camera too fast. You've then got D, which is drive, and that will get you to 45 miles an hour. And then you have sport mode, which unleashes the power and you can get to top speed of sort of 58 miles an hour. and you can change mapping speeds whilst riding along. So Eco does restrict your acceleration. The drive and the sport mode unleashes the full power, and you can have acceleration to the speed of that mapping. What else is good to think about on this bike? I have been off-road on it all morning. I probably dropped it about 30 times, which is a little bit naughty, and I haven't actually broken anything, thankfully. There are some love marks which you would expect from rolling around in the mud, but nothing that makes me worry about the durability of this bike in the sort of environment that you might take it on. So the bike comes with 17-inch wheels as standard. The Offroad Pack does give you the slightly bigger wheels. Another thing to note with the Offroad Pack is you get spoked wheels for the off-road riding as opposed to cast wheels. It gives you a little bit more durability for off-road, pretty standard that you have spokes. And something that is quite important when you change your wheel size is that your Speedo stops working, but thankfully Artisan have thought about that. In your little display computer unit up front, you have the ability to change the wheel size so that when you swap from road to off-road size wheels, your Speedo is still going to be accurate, which is quite important. So I'm glad they thought of that. Braking, you've got to get used to if you're used to a more traditional bike, because there is no pedal here. So you will have your foot playing around a little bit. You've got CBS brakes, so it's combined braking system. This basically means that when you pull your front brake, it is going to dual brake for you, applying a little bit of rear brake, just for a little bit of extra safety and security. Your rear brake, which is your left hand, there's no clutch, is pure rear brake application. I felt like it braked very hard and firm and true. I didn't feel like there was, any weakness in the braking. We have 240mm discs. They are ventilated discs. I can confirm you can get them really, really muddy and still brake. Looking at everything else up front, we do actually have the ability to ride this keyless, which is always nice, not faffing around. I have no idea how that works, so I'm going to take the key out and see if I can steal it. Ah, there is a key fob, and I can unlock it. Oh, it's woken up. And now, if I lift the kickstand up, so the kickstand is what puts it into gear. Yep. Turn the ignition on. Windows start-up sound. Love it. And then we're ready. Yeah. So it's keyless. That's cool. I like that. Kickstand is how you put it into gear. There is no live buttons on the handlebar, so that's something to remember. As soon as that kickstand up, this is a bit of a lethal weapon because it's electric. You have some grab handles, which I have demonstrated using quite repeatedly this morning, picking it up. They're really well positioned. On this side, you do have one little thing for maintenance, and that is gearbox oil. You need to top up, change your oil every sort of 900 miles. It's a little bit of maintenance for an electric bike, but considering you've got no fuel, air filters, pistons or anything like that, it's really not much at all. Let's show you how to take the battery out. So we've got a key that goes into the side, and that's going to pop the seat up. Okay, so batteries in here, 2 batteries. You're going to pull it back a little bit so you can get your fingers under, lift it up, and then you're going to twist and pop the double connections off. You've then got an 11 kilo battery inside. The second battery is vertical down in there. Now, with charging on this bike, you can either plug the whole bike in, batteries in-house, with a socket that's under here, or you can remove the batteries, take them into your house, put them under your desk, whatever you want to do, and charge them directly from a 3-pin plug. Right, let's get her back together. So, twist and in. Okay, so we've got upside down forks on the front, progressive linkage suspension on the back. Ground clearance on this is 340mm, which I was actually quite impressed with. When you look at the full race spec enduro bikes, you're only looking at about 370mm. So, I mean, yes, that is a chunk difference, but that's actually quite an impressive ground clearance for the sort of bike that is dabbling in off-road. But how much does it cost, I hear you ask? It is around 4,400. That's obviously UK price, and that factors in the government grant, which takes 20% off, because you know this is a pretty economical bike to run. You're looking at about 50p 100 miles based on, you know, UK electricity prices. Okay, seat height is an important one that everyone wants to ask about. So I'm 169 and I can very, very easily, bent knee, flat-footed, touch the ground. An important factor for that is actually the standover width. It's quite a narrow bike and it makes for a really unintimidating off-road experience and road. The colour choices that you can get, you can have any colour you want as long as it's black. Yeah, there's the horn. So that horn, it's probably my only gripe. The amount of times I hooted that picking the bike up today. It's like right where your like hip sits. Anyway, it's not really any kind of legit criticism. I just like hooting the horn on this bike. I'm Vanessa, the girl on a bike. If you are new to my channel, thanks so much for watching. Please do hit subscribe and check out my other social channels. If you want to see a little bit more of the riding fun on the little Artisan, then please see my other video.